Viewers, today I will talk about international human resource management, approaches to international human resource management, and factors affecting the approach to international human resource management. So, what is international human resource management? International human resource management is the process of procuring, allocating, and effectively utilizing human resources in a multinational corporation. These activities would include as the following: human resource planning, staffing, performance management, training and development, compensation and benefits, industrial relations, etc. Approaches to international human resource management. The human resource departments of multinational corporations may adopt four specific approaches. These approaches are ethnocentric, polycentric, geocentric, and regiocentric. Ethnocentric approach: when a company follows the strategy of choosing only from the citizens of the parent country to work in subsidiaries. It is called ethnocentric approach. The multinational exports human resource policies and practices used in a home country to subsidiaries. The multinational corporation's headquarters maintain tight control over the subsidiaries' policy. The general rationale behind the approach is that the staff from the parent country would represent the interest of headquarters effectively. For example, firms such as Procter & Gamble, Harley-Davidson, Toyota, etc. Polycentric approach: when a company adopts the strategy of limiting recruitment to the nationals of the host country, it is called polycentric approach. The primary purpose of handling over the management to the local people is to ensure that the company understands the local market conditions, political scenario, cultural and legal requirements better. Subsidiaries are independent from headquarters in this approach. Governmental pressure and foreign laws often necessitate polycentric approach, such as Philips Electronics, Nestle, McDonald's. And then geocentric approach: when a company adopts the strategy of recruiting the most suitable persons for the positions available in it, irrespective of their nationalities, it is called geocentric approach. Companies that are truly global in nature adopt this approach since it utilizes a globally integrated business strategy. In this approach, nationality is ignored in favor of ability. Under this approach, the company analyzes the tastes, preferences, and needs of the customers in all foreign markets and then adopts a standardized marketing mix for all the foreign markets. For example, Unilever, Samsung, etc. Regiocentric approach: when a company adopts the strategy of selecting the most suitable persons from different countries lying within the geographic region of business is called regiocentric approach. The rationale behind this approach is that the person belonging to the same region is well versed in the language and culture that provides better understand the problems that arise in the market. In this approach, company views different regions as different markets. Management seeks to develop an integrated regional strategy to market product or service in this approach. For example, Coca-Cola, Nike, HSBC, Gillette in different regions like Europe, Asia, America, Middle East, and Africa. And factors affecting the approaches to international human resource management. A company that offers their business in at least one country other than its home country is called multinational corporation. Today, it's not surprising to find major multinational corporations such as McDonald's, Toyota, Nike, and Microsoft almost in every country. Human resource management is becoming more complex in the international level. Therefore, it is crucial for the organization to execute the right human resource strategy for their international operations. A number of factors may influence the international human resource management approach taken by a multinational corporation. These factors can be divided into two groups. Number one, external factors, and number two, internal factors. External factors are political policies and legal regulations, managerial, educational, and technological development in the host country, home and host country cultures. And internal factors are international experience of the firm, method of subsidiary founding, technology and the nature of the product, organizational culture, organizational life cycle. Political policies and legal regulations. The nature of international human resource management may be restricted by the government, policies, and legal regulations in the host country. Multinational corporations do not have control over the host or national country's legal requirement, political system, or anything others what is done by government. With the introduction of new workplace compliance standards, Human Resources Department is constantly under pressure to stay within the law. These types of regulations influence every process of human resource department, including hiring, training, compensation, termination, and much more. Without adhering to such regulations, a company can be fined extensively, which, if it was bad enough, could cause the company to shut down. Managerial, educational, and technological development in the host country. International managerial, educational, and technological development study aims to contribute to the international human resource management by empirically exploring international training and management development policies and practices for both expatriates and host country nationals, such as South Korean multinational enterprises operating in China. The available workforce is likely to be educated and technically experienced. On the other hand, this development is limited in third world countries. On the job training is provided mainly to host country nationals, productions, workers in order to improve productivity and work safety. Home and host country cultures. Culture can be defined as a system of values, beliefs, customs, practices that are reflected in behavioral norms, rules, regulation, and laws of a country. Culture is an important factor for multinational corporations, where it will influence their decisions in choosing which human resource practices can be used globally. The greater the cultural distance between home and host country, the harder for international human resource management to export and implement its home human resource practices. Moreover, less cultural distance, the easier for international human resource management to implement its home human resource practices. The greater similarity of culture between home and host country, the less barrier for human resource management to utilize its home human resource policies and practices. Due to cultural differences around the world, human resource practices such as selection, training, performance appraisal, reward system, career development, as well as socialization is varied from multinational corporations to multinational corporations, depending on the culture of international operation environment. Now, internal factors. International experience of the firm. Companies are operating over so many international boundaries. So, the more language and experience with different cultures you can bring to your company, the more you can help expand its global reach. Multinational corporations with extensive international experience have had the opportunity to develop more diverse methods of maintaining coordination and control over their foreign operations. For example, Western firms locating in China face a business environment that differs from their home country environment. However, firms may differ in their ability to overcome the difficulties depending on their previous experience. In particular, firms with experience from regions similar to China might exhibit relatively better performance. A survey shows that subsidiaries in China perform better if the firms have subsidiaries in Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Singapore. Method of subsidiary founding. And multinational corporation opening subsidiaries in developed countries face a much different international human resource management challenge than one opening subsidiaries in developing countries. Developed countries have well-educated staff having technical and management experience. Therefore, this is the opportunity to develop polycentric or geocentric international human resource management strategies. Whereas in developing countries like India, for Toyota, a Japanese company need more centralized international human resource management strategy. Technology and the nature of the product. For technologically sophisticated products or services, the need to maintain specific production standards and quality controls necessitates a greater degree of centralization of international human resource management functions at the multinational corporation's headquarters. Whereas in some products like food items, the host country testers have to be looked into to succeed in the local market. For example, companies that make greater use of tools such as online benefits management, where employees can make changes to their benefit plans on their own, provide human resources workers with more time to focus on other areas like recruiting or training. Organizational culture. Culture, particularly national culture at the headquarters, plays a role in determining international human resource management practices. Culture may affect headquarter decision in two ways. Some cultures are simply more comfortable than others in taking an ethnocentric approach to management. The mix of cultures in the subsidiaries of an multinational corporations and the level of cultural difference among the subsidiaries of a multinational corporation will restrict the international human resource management approach taken. Cultures such as power distance, uncertainty avoidance, individualism or collectivism, and masculinity or femininity affect international human resource management approach. According to Hofstede, power distance refers on how less powerful individuals accept the power and influence of higher person. Example: countries such as Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia are considered to be high power distance in in these countries the person with higher position in the company is respected and has power over its subordinates. On the other hand, countries such as United States and Australia considered to be low power distance culture where in the organization the people are being treated equally regardless their position in the company. And the last one is organizational life cycle. The organizational life cycle is the life cycle of an organization from its creation to its termination. Generally, there are 5 stages to an organization's life cycle are initiation, functional growth, control, strategic growth, and decline. Initiation stage is commonly known as the birth or entrepreneurial stage of an organization. During this phase, the organization tends towards an ethnocentric approach to international human resource management. In the functional growth stage, international operations become a significant part of this growth. During control growth, the firm attempts to increase productivity and control costs, which are examined to find economies of scale and functional integration across major overseas and domestic units. A more regiocentric approach to international human resource management may evolve and trends toward a geocentric approach may evolve. Finally, in the strategic growth stage, domestic and international competition forces the firm to view its operation as a truly global unit. Global networks, alliances, and joint ventures are formed. A global geocentric approach to international human resource management is needed to match the integration of research and development, marketing, production, and distribution worldwide. The role of the human resource manager must follow the needs of the changing organization. Using human resource as a competitive advantage in international human resource management means analyzing what factors are necessary for the organization's long-term success.